Welcome back to my lovely channel, Jazzy's Land. It is the first week of fall. I'm Jaslyn and I like to read books. During the fall season, I still like to go to the park and commune with the trees and really just take in nature and watch its ever-growing changes. It's so beautiful to me. Fall is the ultimate reset time. It's the time for spooky books and dark academia vibes and vampires and monster hunters, everything under the sun. So I really want to pull those kinds of reads for my fall season. But before we hop into any books, I need to make me some breakfast. I decided to bake myself some muffins just to continue with the fall vibe, which I feel includes baking. I'm making blueberry muffins. Not everything super aesthetically pleasing, but they come out deliciously every single time. As well as preparing myself a nice breakfast, because they say that it's the most important meal of the day, and it kind of helps me get into the mood for reading, for work. Just fall in general is the time where I want to come to myself. Fall is the time where you reset. Good morning. Happy fall, you guys. Happy fall. I just finished making me breakfast. I baked me some muffins, not from scratch because I don't know who you guys think I am, but no. I did make muffins, got me some apples because I feel like fall is apple season, and then of course some eggs and sausage. Yay! My muffin came out so good. It has a nice little crust to it, and the middle is nice and soft. It's perfect. I've started Ring Shout by P. Djeli Clark. I've been saying P. Djeli, and that's not how you pronounce it. And I'm so upset that none of you guys told me that that's not how you pronounce it. But nonetheless, I've been reading, and it's really good. So this follows a group of monster hunters, basically, and it's a historical fiction, and it's set in like the 1920s. You're thrown right into the middle of it, and I don't really know all the information yet. And that's the beautiful thing about fantasies, is like, you don't need to know. Just keep reading and you'll figure it out. So that's what's happening right now. You're learning more about like this community that they're in, and it's really good. It's pretty funny. It's made me giggle multiple times while I've been reading it, so I like that. And it's kind of an interesting look into history as well, like what was going on. Obviously it has like a fantastical element, so it's adding in like these like fantastical creatures and ideas and stuff, but it's bringing in like a lot of like real stuff. I've been doing that. I'm going to be listening to more of that, and I'll come back and give you guys updates. But right now I gotta eat my brekkie and get to work, because you know, capitalism. I took a little walk and I'm listening to Ring Shout by P. Djeli Clark, and what I'm finding is that I'm having a really hard time focusing. Like, I keep finding myself rewinding it and listening to it again, because I'm just like, wait, what happened? What happened? Like, my brain, like, I keep focusing on other things. Like, my brain keeps jumping to something else. I think I'm going to like try to do some writing, or like just some journaling or something, just to kind of clear my head out, so like I won't be thinking so much when I'm trying to like listen to the book, but it's good so far. I don't know what's going on. There's definitely some mystery plot going on, something happening that I'm not too sure about. I'm going to get back into that. I just need to like focus. I feel like I didn't do a good job when I was trying to explain what this book is about. So this book is following Maurice, and she is a young woman. She's like 24 years old, and she has the sight, and basically that means that she can see monsters, and she sees like these monsters who are basically walking around in white people's bodies, and specifically white clan members' bodies, and they call them Ku Kluxes. What she does is she hunts monsters. That's what she does. Her and her two friends, Sadie and they call her Chef. I think her name's like Corey or something, but they call her Chef. So you're following these women, and they're part of like a whole like community, and they all like fight monsters, and they know about monsters, and they try to like fight back against. A storm's a brewing. A storm's a brewing. Something's happening. A tide is changing. They think that there's something big is going to hit them, because the monsters are getting tougher. They think that they're getting smarter. They seem to have some type of goal, but they don't know what the goal is. It's creepy. It's creepy. The imagery and all of that. It's a pretty short book. Like, I think I'm about halfway through right now. I have no clue where this is going to go, because I just feel like I'm just getting started. Like, we just really getting in there. We're just really getting into the story. Hopefully I'm gonna finish this today, to be honest. I thought I wasn't, but I didn't realize how short it was. So I'm literally about to probably whip this out and finish it. Ignore my collared shirt. Okay, I have some client meetings today, so I had to wear my collared shirt. I'm real professional like. All right. This photo is kind of fitting our spooky fall vibes. You guys get it? You guys see the vibe, see the aesthetic? I just finished Ring Shout. I finished it, and I'm probably going to give it like 4 stars, maybe 4.5 stars. I enjoyed this. This book is full of just badass women and just like badass characters, and they're fighting Ku Kluxes. I can never be mad at that. This is really a resistance story. It's really just like them fighting back, and it is so good. And it pulls in a lot of like very historically accurate things. P. Djeli Clark does a really good job at like pulling in like those historical facts and intertwining it with the fantastical elements and just making it so good. The author is extremely witty. Y'all know that P. Djeli Clark is just steadily like always like a top author for me recently. They've been hitting the nail on the head every single time. And so I'm really liking it. I loved like the characters, like they're so silly, but it just feels like very like real. Like this is exactly how it would have been. Like if I was out there hunting Ku Kluxes and fighting the KKK, this is how me and my friends would also interact with each other. And it's really fun. It's a super fast-paced book. Like I thought that I was like, oh my gosh, how, like, where is it going to go? Like I'm halfway through and I'm like, oh my God, like I feel like there was still so much, but it really did a good job at like bringing everything together. It didn't feel rushed for me. It felt like the pacing was really good. It just didn't over explain itself. It was like, this is what it is, you know? If you like badass women and you're not afraid to get down into the nitty gritty, and you can handle a little, can I say that on YouTube? I don't know. So if you're mad about the state of the world and you should read the book. You know? It's just a fun, like, it's cathartic. Moving on, I don't know what book I'm actually reading next. So when I know, I'll let you guys know. Get into the fall. Get into the fall. So to keep with the spooky fall autumn vibes that we are curating in this vlog, I'm going to be starting The Ground That Devours Us by Kayla Harris. I read some of the reviews and people were saying that it's giving like a Twilight, Vampire Diaries, which I feel like is very fall. That's a very fall vibe. Basically, the world has been taken over by vampires. It's a dystopian set in the not so future. They've basically made the world into an all-you-can-eat human buffet, but this one girl, she gets to train because she's going to become a slayer, a monster hunter, and her sister are training, but then her sister gets turned one day. It has mixed reviews. Some people say it's not good, some people say it is good. I'm going to read it and make my own decision. Wish me luck. Mwah. I'm 50% of the way through and I'm not particularly moved by the story. It's better than I was expecting because I really wasn't expecting much. I was not expecting much from this story, just like vibes. And I think it's delivering on that, to be honest. The main character's name is Ruby. And Ruby and her sister have been living on, and they're twins. Ruby and her sister have been living on this compound for majority of their lives. Their parents were killed. Their mom was killed by a vampire when they were young, and then they were found by this man. Basically, he brought them onto the compound and trained them up to be slayers because he hates vampires with a burning passion. And so he's basically raised them to like hate vampires too. He's also using them as replacement children because his daughters were killed by vampires. He had 2 daughters, and so he's using them as replacement children, but he's not the best. Basically, like, he's a weirdo. He cares more about the compound than he does about his daughters. Then you have X. So X is like this super vampire or whatever, and they're like, oh my gosh, he's so bad, he's so strong, he's murdered so many people. He's like the epitome of like the enemy for this compound and for Ruby. So X is the one who changes her sister into a vampire. Okay, now she's like, oh, I want you to keep Ruby safe because that man, her replacement dad, has sent the whole compound out trying to find Ruby to basically take her in, but she thinks that he's going to kill her, which, I mean, is looking like it. Now she's like, oh, X, you have to help me. Like, she goes after him. So this is like, they're like forming a bond now, I guess. Here's the thing. I literally just finished Immortal Dark. And I think Immortal Dark did such a good job at creating a true enemies to lovers kind of vibe, even though it's like there's still like this dark, heavy tension between them. I don't feel as particularly moved by X's and Ruby's kind of like coming together moments. I just don't care. I don't think that the anger and the mistrust between them has been established enough for me to care about them actually overcoming that and getting to know each other on a deeper level. Another thing that I want to talk about is like how sick the compound is. Unless you're becoming a monster hunter, you really don't matter. Unless you bring some value, you really don't matter. And so it's like, they don't even have access to showers. Like, you can't even shower unless you are like a higher ranking official. Like, that's literally crazy. And this is not a critique on the book. This is just like a critique on like the world in general, because I feel like if something was like this was to happen in real life, we would be getting these same kind of things like, oh, well, you're not putting into work. Like, even in our lowest times, even when everything is coming to an end, we still can't think about our community and just try to figure out how we as a community can survive. You're the last humans on Earth, basically. They're not the last humans, but it's like, basically, you are going extinct. Humans are going extinct because everyone's either getting turned into a vampire or being killed by a vampire. And you can't even look out for your neighbors. It's like everything has to be like transactional. Like, oh, if you do this, then you can shower, then you get food. She's like talking about like, oh, you know, we've been living off of scraps. So it's like once I graduate and become a slayer, we can finally, you know, have food that's not moldy. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? What's going on? And so like that was kind of like pissing me off. But again, that's not a critique on the book. Like I feel like that's very accurate to how a real world situation would happen, because people now like look around, like everything's very transactional, and you can say that I'm deeping it, I'm going too deep into this book, and you be right, but it doesn't matter. That's just what it brought feelings up for me about. Okay, as far as like the romance subplot, she's like, if he wasn't a vampire, I'd be so attracted to him. And I'm like, girl, honey, bye. Like, no, not my favorite thing, but it's not the worst thing either. Like, I really thought it was going to be like so terrible, so bad, but it's like, it's really not. It's a fine story. I'm going to finish it. We'll see how I feel about it. I just don't care for her. I feel like I would have liked it more if I didn't just read Immortal Dark, which was like a really good, like, vampire enemies to lovers kind of story that had a beautiful, like a very beautiful and full world building and a very beautiful and full character development. And I fear that this book will not do that. Is that fair? Maybe not. Maybe it's not fair, but hey, that's life. Oh yeah.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm. Super good. I mostly came back on here to talk about the book that I was reading, which is The Ground That Devours You by Kayla Harris. And I did finish that finally. I'm gonna give it like 2.5, 3 stars, around there. I think that's where it's sitting for me. I don't know. What I did like about the book. I feel like this definitely fit in with like the fall Vampire Diaries Twilight vibe. I feel like that's what it was going for, and I feel like it did that. Now, everything I say with a grain of salt, because I've never even seen Twilight. I have seen Vampire Diaries. I had not the whole thing, but I've seen some of it. But I do feel like it kind of fit into that vibe. Now, what I didn't like about it, I feel like the relationships were kind of superficial. I didn't feel like a true kinship between these characters. Like, so the main character, Ruby, she has a best friend, Ginger. There's some things that are going on in this relationship that, like, I know that I'm supposed to care about as a reader, like the way that she's written this and but it's like I don't care, because I don't feel like their relationship was really that deep and really that true so that when things went down, I was just like, same way that I feel about even her relationship with her sister and the romantic relationship in the book. I mean, to me, all of these, everything just felt very superficial, very surface level. So it just was like, I don't care. There's also something to be said about the pacing of this book. I feel like it was a little bit off. A lot of like the action, I feel like the main like plot line, or what I thought was going to be like the main plot line, happened in like the first 50%, 60% of the book. And then it stalled out for a little bit. And then boom, okay, another like big climactic thing. And I don't know. Also, the writing I could tell that she was trying to go for like the, main character who's like, oh, she's kind of snarky and like sassy and just, she does whatever she wants and she, kind of humor going on, but it didn't land all the way for me. I thought she was it was a bit dated, which I guess is like going for the vibe of like the Twilight and like the Vampire Diaries, like the early 2000s, that kind of vibe. And so I guess she did that, but it just all felt very much not, I wasn't a particular fan of it. It didn't hit. Also, what I will say is that I think the synopsis was a little bit off. So in the synopsis, when I read it, it was like, oh, vampires have taken over the world and vampires run everything and your Congress members vampires and everybody's vampires. And so I thought I was going to be entering a world in which vampires are actually running everything and humans are, subjugated or second class. Because she was like, oh, the synopsis literally said that vampires have made the world an all you can eat buffet. That is not true. That is not true at all. That was not what was going on in the book at all. I think that threw me off when I started reading it, and then I was like, okay. And then also it was like, oh, the synopsis was like, oh, Ruby has no social life. Like basically her social life is non-existent. And then you get into the book and she has friends and a little whoop-de-whoop. And like in the very beginning, like she's talking to mad people. She's naming out mad different people. But you don't have a social life. Like it didn't make any sense. I didn't really like Ruby as a character. Like I said, I felt like that sassy, like snarky character who's like badass and funny. I feel like they told us a lot about how hard and nitty gritty that she was, but I just didn't really actually feel like she was hard or nitty gritty. She didn't really do anything that was like super, like, oh wow, she's wilding. Like, no. And y'all know I love an unhinged female character, and I don't feel like she was unhinged. And I feel like, especially since I just read Immortal Dark, and I know I talked about this in the last clip too. I just read Immortal Dark, and I just feel like they had a very simple, like with the vampires and like the twin sisters and like the separation and and the enemies to lovers like plot line going on. Immortal Dark is always going to do it better, but as she stands alone by herself, The Ground That Devours Her is 2.75 stars to me. I've just been watching Supernatural. I've just been obsessed with that show recently. Like it does it for me. Like every time around this time of the year, like something in my brain just scratches and I'm like, oop, time to watch Supernatural. And then I just start watching it. And then I also have my sketchbook here. And I'm just like sketching like random stuff. I don't know. I just be bored. Also, you guys, so we finished in a journal. But that means new journal. So this journal my Nana got for me actually. And it's very nice. It has a magnetic. And so I was doing a little bit of journaling as well today. It's Sunday. I have my little glass of wine right here. Okay. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.